Hello, hello. I'm happy to announce that we are ending a long-standing tradition here. I'm not going to talk about how I need to tweet out the announcement to the stream because I already did it, and I had a title card up, and I was hidden the whole time. If you see me looking over to the right, it's because that's where the chat is, and so I'll be trying to keep an eye on it over the course of the game. Let me know if my audio is not loud enough. I know that we've also got some folks from staff who are in chat who will be helping out. Hopefully, I won't make too big a fool of myself. It was funny. I took this out earlier today and just was like, okay, how does the Oath bot work? It's been a while, and my head has been in very different game spaces. And so I might screw up a little bit. Hopefully, I won't. I think I've got it. I'm not doing like the craziest bot game. This is just intro to bots. Also, not doing this as a teaching game. I'm just going to play it, and I will narrate how I'm doing this, and try not to sound like someone who's lost their mind as I talk to myself. Yes. Okay. Cool. So what I'm going to do here is first, hello everyone. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to see a whole bunch of you hanging out. We are, for those of you who are like the Woodland Warriors and stuff, if you've not seen very much of me lately, it's because we are working on the Root Kickstarter. It is consuming every one of my waking moments right now. And I'm really excited to show it all to you soon on the 23rd of February. If you want to be alerted about the Root Kickstarter, you can search it right now on Kickstarter, or maybe someone from staff can put the link in the Twitch chat, and you can be pre-notified about the campaign that's coming. If you want to know where your copy of Oath is, it's right here. I've taken it. No, it's going on the boat or some combination of those things, depending on where you live. We will be having an Oath shipping update very soon because we have some things to share. It's nothing surprising, but it's just, we have we are putting together the information we need to share that. So hopefully you will be able to play your games of Oath soon. I cannot wait for everybody to get their copies. Okay, wow, this chat is pretty active, so I will not get too distracted in it. So again, for folks who are just joining, if you see me looking over here, it's because that's where my chat window is, and I just, I probably should have put the monitor somewhere else, but I'm learning. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about my setup, and then we'll just kind of get to the game. So I am playing against the Clockwork Prince. Here's the Clockwork Prince's player board. We'll talk about it in a little bit. And here is my player board. I'm playing yellow. Yellow is my preferred color. It's not, in Oath I like all the character art, but just usually when I play board games, it's yellow, and yellow contrasts really nicely with the kind of purple of the Chancellor. Here we have a imagined starting position. I didn't want to break into the archive for this opening game, so I just kind of create a starting position using the cards in the base deck as opposed to playing like the tutorial or anything like that. Because as you learn if you read the Oath rulebook, we don't really want you to play the solo game as your tutorial. In fact, it's a lot better if you're a solo player. What we'd recommend that you do is go through the walkthrough as instructed by the various cards, and then at the conclusion of the walkthrough, you can reset up the game and play it solo, or you could play a few more turns to get the hang of it, then you can go into the solo game. The solo game is it's a little different, and I don't want to mix two very different kinds of teaching. Okay, so we've got all this stuff here. We've got these little coin stacks, the favor and the favor banks. I put the special, the banners up here, and then we have player board, my opening hand, which I'll talk about. And then over here, this is the Clockwork Prince's mind. This is the intelligence that powers the Clockwork Prince. It's a flowchart. So for those of you who've played like a coin game, or a lot of modern wargame design uses flowcharts. It's funny, I went through a bunch of different AI strategies for dealing with Clockwork Prince, and the flowchart ended up being the one that felt the most responsive. And even then, it's not perfect, but it gets you pretty close. Now, normally a flowchart comes with these little markers to move the action token around. I'll just kind of put these here. You have a start one and then a little token like that. And you march them around the board. They work great, but because this is a special stream, I wanted something that would catch the camera, so I'm using a golden meeple and a little black disc for my start position, so you can see where the intelligence of the mind currently is at there. Oh man, that is an amazing crop. I will use my right hand so that it doesn't look like my hand is growing. I love it. Little fun note here. This exact poker chip used in one of the very first playtest kits of Root, and this golden meeple was a lizard, maybe 2.5 years ago or whatever. We were working on the lizards. All right, let's get to it. So we are playing under the Oathkeeper of Supremacy, which is sitting right here. Just as a reminder, if this area gets used in the board, we'll of course move it off board. The solo game is it's the same length. It can go, it can happen in 2 or 3 turns. It can go the full distance, anything like that. And I'm going against the Chancellor, who starts right here. Now, again, I'm not going to give a full teach, but I'll just say a couple general things. One thing, you may notice that the Chancellor's board looks nothing like a player board. The Chancellor doesn't really have a hand of cards. They have a bunch of little rules that govern how they operate in the game, and I'll do my best to narrate that as we go through. So the very first thing I have to do is, I want to talk a little bit about what the board actually looks like. So again, this is a random board, more or less. I wanted just a few sites out there with some things, and we can imagine this is the previous winner's holdings. But the deck that we're playing with is the initial deck of the game. So we've got Bear Traps, Memory of Home, and a Roving Terror. These are all interesting cards that present some cool options. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Does the board camera... Now, are you talking about this board, as Zad? Are you talking about the mind board or the main board? Let me check, because I can maybe fix it. Does the main board look... Okay, we're going to fix it, because before I get into this, it's got to be perfect. It's like a really hard thing to fix sometimes. Let me see if I can. I think it's mostly in focus, but I will see if I can't sharpen it just a little bit for you. Some parts of it, because of the way the camera's hanging, some parts of it may be in different stages of focus. Yeah, that's as in focus as I can get it, I'm afraid. It's as in focus as we can do. Okay, so let's get to it. All right. First thing I have to do is decide my card. Oh, okay. So I guess I can lay these out. I have a cool feature. I'll show you guys my cool feature that I worked on this morning because, I don't know, something I wanted to do. So I can do highlights of cards. So you can see a card that I'm looking at. The Wizard School, see it up close. This is definitely the card that I'm going to be selecting for my starting card. And then for my location, I'm going to start out here, I think. And I'll talk about why we'll do that in a second. These 2 cards right here get sent yonder. Okay. All right, so let's get to it. I'll talk a little bit about strategy, and then I'm going to try to show you how this thing works. Okay, let me move this around and get this button all working right. Good. Okay, so let's talk strategy. Here's what you have to know about the Clockwork Prince from a strategy perspective. So they play differently at every different victory condition, and they will respond to the threats that they're being presented with. Just in terms of if I go sales mode here for a second, what the Prince gives you is a way to play the game with 1 player or 2 players. And the Prince can play either as the Chancellor or Prince in Exile, or the Clockwork Prince in Exile, I think is what we call it in the rules, so that you can play a meaningful campaign just squaring off against the Prince. It's not as rich as the full game. This game, Oath, was not designed primarily as a solo game, but it does add something special to the two-player, and it allows you to, if you really want to like explore a game of Oath and develop your game set in between sets with a fuller group, you can do that. The Prince, in terms of its attributes, is he's like a like many board game bots. He's like a strong dummy. He can be kind of outfoxed, but he has a lot of brute force to make up for it. The Prince here is very, very good at recruiting, which is a problem when we're playing under the control most of the site's victory condition. And, oh, thank you. So he can recruit really, really fast, which is a big issue because he can garrison all these sites. And he also is pretty good at fighting, and he will get better at fighting over the course of the game, which we'll talk about later. Okay, so I started with that Wizard School here. I can go back to it so you can see. Wizard School, I'll do some quick card anatomy for everybody. It's a card that can only be played at sight, and if you spend $1, you can gain a secret. So it allows you to gain cheap secrets. This card's great. But you can only do it if it ends your turn. The last game I played against this bot, I lost. And I think I lost because I didn't get my second secret early enough. One of the things about Oath as Oath strategy is that there are no hard and fast rules, but there are a couple of guidelines, and one of them is sometime in the first 3 turns of the game, you should have a second secret. I've played one game with only 1 secret before, but you just generally want the flexibility. So this card, I'm trying to right my wrongs. All right, we're going to start with the Clockwork Prince, and I'll explain how he works. So basically, he has these 4 steps. You probably can't see it too well. I didn't build a Clockwork Prince board flash up, but you don't worry about it too much. First thing is you have to assess the threat. So currently, the Clockwork Prince has the Oathkeeper token, and no one else has any visions that they've fulfilled or anything like that. So they are under no threat, which means they're going to sit right here on the mind. If this changed, it would mean that we move where they start on the mind around. Then, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to search and play 1 card. So using the same deck you use with players, and this was actually very important, quick design sidebar. If you play with a bot, it doesn't break anything about your campaign. So you will set up the game the same way, and you will pack it up down a little differently, but not in a way that it needs to be corrected for any other future play. So we're going to draw 3 cards. Like this. Now that vision card right here in the middle is going to stay. How are we looking there? There you go. The vision card, you'll see this one has an eye and this one has people on it. They look so similar so that if you accidentally splay them, it will hide which one of these is the vision. The vision stays face down. The other 2 are going to get revealed. Okay, Scouts and Storyteller. Now we have to pick a card to play. So the way that works is we look at the quadrant in the mind that we're in. And right now we're in this quadrant, so he wants to play friends. All the suits on the bot will either be friends or conspirators or unaligned. And currently they have no friends, right? So, sorry for the bot. Hard being a bot. If they can't play a friend, they'll play an unaligned and make it a friend. And you always go left. The leftmost is the tiebreaker. So of these, the Hearth and the Order, the Hearth is the leftmost, so it gets played. Now, what do you do when you play a card? You will put it on the board in the topmost position and then the leftmost position. So here we're in the marshes. There's 2 cards can exist here. So you're going to put this card right here. If they were to play additional cards, they would go down here and they would start filling up the board this way. Oops. Okay, so we play Storyteller. Now, just like a player, when the Storyteller card is played, they will gain a favor, matching that suit. Cool. And we move this little Hearth symbol up. Now, once we move the Hearth symbol up, you'll note there's a big 2 right here. That 2 means that they now take 2 actions. So that gets us to the 3rd phase of a bot's turn, which is taking actions. Now here we use the bot's mind board. Now what you'll notice about this, and this is a little hard to see, but I did the best I could. So what we've got, these 2 cards need to get discarded like that. Now, the way this map works is there are basically 3 different colors of lines. There's like this red color, this kind of reddish orange. There's a lighter orange, and there's black. And they're in a priority order. So first you do the red line, if you can. And then you do the orange line, if you couldn't do the red line. And then if you could do neither, you follow the black arrow. So here, we look at the red line. It says, hey, do you rule the most sites? And the answer to that question, from the bot's perspective, is yes. They rule 3 sites. These face-down sites, like they don't exist yet. So we take our little meeple, and he's going to travel along the red line, and we get to this thing. It says, hey, do you need a banner? The darkest secret's this way, the people's favor's that way. If you don't have either, you go to the people's favor first. Now, when you get here, you ask a question. Can you pay for the people's favor? Now, we have 3 favor here, and there's only 1 on the people's favor. So we, of course, can pay for the people's favor. So we will take our first action. So we pay for the people's favor by buying it for 3. The favor that was on it goes to the leftmost suit. If there was multiple favor, it gets spread. Okay, so now our little bot has got the people's favor, and they're getting ready to do their second action. Now, the second action, you'll see here that from this spot, there's only a black arrow, so they will go to the search action. Search action is just the same as the search action at the beginning of their turn. So they draw 3 cards, like that. Oh, and this should be advanced there. And then they reveal all 3 of these cards. Now, we look at their current quadrant. They want to play friends. All right, well, the friend that they have out here is Hearth. So these 2 are unaligned, and this is a Hearth suit, which is here when they want to play their friends first. So they will go ahead and advance their Hearth suit, and then add this to the board. Now, because this is a bonus search action, they don't get an additional action. It's like that's only for the search that happens at the beginning of the turn. These 2 cards are then discarded in this stack. All right. Those are the bot's 2 actions. The final thing that we do with the bot is clean up. If they had any resources on the board, they go back to the banks or the bot's board, and then we take this start disc and we move it beneath the golden pawn so we know where they're going to start for the next turn. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look. Oh yeah, there's a great, all right, I see some familiar faces in this chat. Cool, great. Well, it's good to see you all. Miss you. It's like the kind of folks I feel like I would have seen at cons. It bums me out. All right. Good. So are the discards shuffled? I don't think so. I will check. So speaking of checking, here are the bot rules. They're on a single double-sided sheet. And I'm going to check about the shuffling of discards. Just looking. I'm just going to put them down in the same order that we had them. But I will double check that later. Anyway, they put further on. Okay, so now let's take a look at my turn. So here I am, noble little exile yellow. I've got full supply and 3 guys. Now, just strategy note, one of the biggest mistakes that I make is I get really eager and I try to take it all right away. And you have to be very careful about that because it can mean that the bot will just come down before you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to bide my time slightly. First step is I'm going to battle this clearing just to take us through some of the fighting. So the way this fighting works is do I want to do that right now? Problem is they've got these bear traps. Oh, yeah, I should say that. When you play with the bot, there are kind of 2 different modes. You can play with a limited special card effects, where basically the bot will not make any decisions about special effects. They will just use the relevant ones. But if they have costs or things, they won't use them. I'm going to play a little bit more liberally because I like doing some of the card special effects. So for example, a card number 3, which I can show you here in a second. my magic thing. So like card number 3, Bear Traps. This card is always going to be in effect. Whereas a card like, not Bear Traps, but like Extra Provisions, any card that has a cost may not be used by the bot, right? Usually, but I'm going to play a little loose with that and make some calls to help the bot. Okay, so now, unfortunately, my layout for this stream is like almost amazing, but the chat window keeps disappearing. Okay. I am guilty of designing this bot. Although I should say much credit, of course, given to Josh, who helped a huge amount, and also to the Oath playtesters, who really made this bot a lot better. The version that I initially gave them was not as good as this version. They made it much smarter. And I think I see some folks from the Oath playtesting chat in the Discord. Someone asked, should the prince get a favor for the Hearth card on the site? When they played a Hearth card to the site, they did get a favor. They just spent all 3 of their favor on the banner. What is my favorite Oathkeeper goal? I don't know. I love the People's Favor a lot. I don't know. I do like all of them. Sometimes my default is the Conquest one, which I think is weirdly the most divisive. Because for a while, the Conquest one was everyone's favorite because it was the most stable in the design. And then as we played the game more, the other ones got a little bit more like subtle and interesting and tricky. But the Conquest one stayed a little vanilla on purpose because it's more brute, right? And so I think like I go back to sometimes just really liking the simplicity of it. I love the People's Favor one. I think it creates some really interesting games. The Relic one is the zaniest of all the conditions, just because it puts all those relics in play. Okay, so now I'm focusing. I'm going to lose this game because I'm going to be answering so many comments. All right, so I've got a couple choices I have to make. I think my biggest priority here is I'm going to take my time just a little bit and try to build a good secret bank. So I'm going to move. I spend 2 supply and move here, revealing the Narrow Pass. The Narrow Pass has a relic at it, which I can peek at. It's the Oracular Pig, which is very interesting, and I don't know what I want to do with it. What I'm going to do is just keep a relic that I guess I would have seen because I was here. I will just keep face up for the stream so you guys can see it. The Dragon Skin Drum here allows you to get a warband after traveling. Great item. And then the Oracular Pig lets you peek at the top 3 cards of the World deck. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is play this card. This is a free action. I get 1 favor from Arcane for playing it. And then I'm actually going to spend this. Oh, no, I'm not going to spend this. Not yet. Next thing I'm going to do is draw. So I'm going to spend 2 supply to draw 3 cards from here. Because I need to get I need to kind of get an army going here. So these are my choices. And I will pick one of my favorite cards in the game. This is a fun one. This is one of those cards that there are no tiers of cards, or I'm going to say that, and someone in the Woodland Warriors is going to start a 209 tier list. But all these cards are really good, and they're all in the base game. This card is awesome. But this one is also good. Okay, so I like knowing that True Names is in the game, but I'm going to go with the Scouts. Okay, so Scouts come here to join me. These get discarded. And now I've got a little bit of time left, but I really don't want to leave the Wizard School. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is draw again, even though it's a suboptimal draw because I'm only drawing 2. Ooh, okay. Here we go. So I have access to the Vision of Sanctuary, which is the victory condition involving relic ownership, which I don't know if I feel. Well, there are a lot of relics out here. I could try to run that strategy. I'm going to do something a little more straightforward, I think, for this game. And I'll take Forest Paths, which I'll keep face down. Not that it matters because I'm playing against the bot. And then with my, I still have a supply left to spend, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Wizard School. The way this works is I pay a favor and I get a secret, very important, and then I have to end my act phase. So at the end of the act phase, we do the rest. So any resources on cards goes to the associated bank. We rest up depending on the amount of supply you have, plus any supply you had left. So I had 1 supply left, so I go up to the top. And that is it for me, and we are now on turn 2, and I will treat myself to chat, see what's going on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, scouts, like, so my thinking here is if I get scouts and I get the dragon skin drum, I can do this thing where I'm like moving around a lot and fighting a lot, like a lot of little battles, and then generating and getting my war bands to deal with the attrition. So that's at least, that's my strategy right now. We'll see how it plays. Okay, so we have 1 vision scene, by the way, which means pulling from this deck costs 3, and we're about to get to the next vision. So for the Clockwork Prince, very first thing they do is they need to assess their threat. They are still king of the mountain, so the threat does not change, which means this stays in the same position. Okay, so now first thing we do is we draw 3 cards. And we have a vision and 2 cards. We don't get to know what the vision is yet, though. All right, Key to the City and Alchemist. Now, this is a place where, like, I really like playing with, although, we're not quite going to get there, but this is a place where, like, if this card could be played, I would, of course, want to use the ability because it doesn't really cost me anything, and I feel like the bot would, of course, do it. All right, so first we're going to figure out what card to play. We're in this quadrant, which means we really want to play friends. We don't have any friend, so we're going to go with the leftmost unaligned, which in this case is the wizard. And it is going to... otherwise play an unaligned and make it a friend. Doop. So then we go right there, and now we've got wizards are our friends. Now this card can't be played because these sections are full, and this section's full. And I'm pretty sure what happens when you do that is you just discard it. I'm like fairly certain, but chat can correct me. Okay, so let's go ahead and do someone asks, does being in the marshes does it mean the prince still draw 3 cards? What a good question. That falls in the, there is a rule about this. Let me actually, this is a good rule that I should have called before I put marshes in this game. No, you draw 3 cards because this supersedes. It's like not, actually, okay, you know what? I'm going to do like a really legalistic reading and then Josh can yell at me if I do something a little off base. Okay. So I'm going to play it with the marshes as written, and so I'm going to leave one of these cards here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it is a search action, it is a modifier, the bot's there. To me, it fills all the criteria. Do you perform the People's Favor upkeep as a bot? You do. You totally do. Like 95% sure. Okay, so we go like this. Now, I have to play this card. Whoop, I'm going to make it a friend. Now, this card can't go anywhere on the board, so it gets discarded right there. And when it gets discarded, the bot will gain a can't play a card bonus, and in this case, it's these 2 favor right here. Can't play a card, you get a little bonus. So bot makes a bit of money. And I believe it's gotten gain favor from the bank, matching the discarded suit, add it to your ambition box. Cool. So I couldn't play my Discord card, which means I take $2 from Discord and I add it to Ambition. Now, Ambition is like a special fund that can only be spent buying the people's favor and also doing relics. Okay, sorry, that was a bit of a long wind-up, but here we are. So now we take our actions. Now we just moved Discord up, so we take 2 actions. First action, we look to see if there are any other arrows coming out. We have a red arrow coming in here, which you might be able to see there, but that doesn't matter. We're only looking at red arrows going out. And so we move down this black arrow to the site where we gain the most money. Now, we gain money from Hearth and from Discord. So this is the site right here where we gain the most money. And... one second. So if we're already at that site, we get to skip it. So we're like, yeah, we're already at the site where we gain the most money. So then what do we do next? We gain money, baby. For every single card that's there, we get our money. So that is, we would get 4 favor, but Hearth is empty, so we're just going to take what we can. So we got a bunch of favor now. Cool. Then, so that was our first action. Now we do our second action. We are going to travel to a site with a relic. Now we're already at a site with a relic, so we kind of skip this. And then we ask ourselves the question, can we pay? The relic at this site costs a secret. We have to burn a secret to pay. And so we will, for our second action, burn the secret, and he will buy this whistle. Okay. And those are the 2 actions. So you can see, like, this is why the starting marker is so important, because you might go through several actions without actually taking an action, right? So like we did this, we skipped this, did that, we were already here, and then we, we bought the relic. Okay. And then let me check something about buying relics. If we had all of our favor gone, I'll just say the bot will like start spending its magic or its secrets as favor. It's just a quirk that it does. The CP will burn its last secret because it doesn't use them. Like it doesn't use them in the same way players do. Okay, cool. So that is the bot's actions. Now we do the bot's cleanup. Nothing really to be done on the board. This little piece comes and moves here, and we put that there. All right, now back to our little yellow exile. So we're on turn 2, and I've got to kind of decide personally, this is between me and mine, I need to decide where my money is coming from and where my army is coming from. These are the big issues that are affecting me. So I'm gonna make kind of a risky choice here and decide to wait a little bit more before I start really engaging with the Chancellor here. So I'm going to first, I have to be careful about that though, because if the Chancellor is idling, he's getting really good at everything, which is going to limit the kinds of strategies that I can do going forward. So there's a bit of a balance here. Yeah, correct. Thank you, Mar. Good eye. Yeah, the visions that are discarded by the bot advance the thing. Okay. And actually, this vision card should be sitting here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Iggy Kid, you have great streams, and you have all my sympathy, because I like playing this bot, but playing this bot while I'm also managing a stream is a lot. Okay. So what are we going to do? I'm here. I'm going to spend a little bit more time priming myself to get ready for this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm moving back up to the Barren Coast. Why am I going to the Barren Coast? Because I'm going to put a secret on here using the trade action. It costs 1 supply. And I'm going to reveal this. Yeah, no, this is fine. I'm going to do the trade action. I reveal this, so I get 1 + 1, 2 favor in total from that trade action. So let's see. I traveled. No, I was here. 1, 2. I traded. And now I'm going to spend 3 of my favor to the nomads to recover the drum. Okay. Feeling good. Now I'm going to make my first big play. I'm going to travel 1, 2 to go here. And I'm banging my drum. So I got a guy. And then I'm going to travel again and get another guy. Now, you might ask yourself, how did I get here? Could you just walk back and forth in the cradle and get a ton of people with your drum? Of course you can. That's Oath. There's a lot of crazy combos like that. That's not a very crazy combo. You just need to ask yourself if it's worse, if it's better for you to spend an entire turn banging a drum and trying to get people than just like paying a muster because of the exchange. Okay. And love this chat. Okay, so I'm good. I'm done. I have in my keeping 9 warbands, so that goes up to the full line, and I'm good. This gets returned to me. We now move on to turn 3, and it's the bot's turn. Okay, so first the bot looks at the threat. There is no threat from the bot's perspective, and so the bot will draw cards. And so the bot draws 1 card, and 2 card, and 3 cards. Now, you have to be careful about the bot because the bot is advancing this deck, which when you play with 2 players and one of them is the Chancellor, it can be a big problem. So you have to, I find that the 2-player game where like there's an exile bot and an exile player and a Chancellor human, or a Chancellor player, those can be really tricky games. I really like them because it's a very different kind of pressure than the game normally. Okay, yes, people's favor feeds. So the people's favor eats. Nom nom nom. Eats this banner. Or the banner eats the guy's favor. And then let's take a look at the cards. So we are in a quadrant where we want to play conspirators. Otherwise, we're going to play an unaligned and make it into a conspirator. So our leftmost unaligned is currently Arcane. So Arcane will become a conspirator like that. Now, we can't put this card anywhere because the board's full. So it's just going to get discarded with the rest of these cards. And so the Chancellor's pawn is here, so they get discarded there. And what do we get if we can't play a card? If you can't play a card, gain a warband, a favor, and a tactics. So favor comes from the Arcane, because that was the card we had to throw away. It goes to the ambition box. Warband comes from the supply. And lastly, the tactics is advanced here. Now, what the tactics is it's an uncounterable battle plan. So basically, this, as an attacker or defender, you're always getting this dice bonus. Can't be played with for anything. You always get it. It's like a bedrock. One of the biggest challenges fighting the Clockwork Prince is that over the course of the game, they're going to get a lot stronger for these things. We haven't had any of these yet, too, but if ever the Clockwork Prince... Actually, I'll double check. If ever the Clockwork Prince reveals... Sorry, I didn't see that. Whoops, shouldn't have even looked in that set. If ever the Clockwork Prince reveals a battle plan, they also get to advance their tactics just for the sake of advancing the tactics. And so they would generally get stronger over the course of the game. A +3 tactics Clockwork Prince is a hard thing to deal with. So you just want to be mindful of that. Okay. Don't you always use ambition to pay for relics? You do, but only for recovering. Yeah, so the ambition box is specific to the recover action, which is not this, which is not the wake step. Okay, unless, there might be a side rule that I'm missing here, but I think that's correct. Okay, so let's take a look. This was advanced, so the Clockwork Prince is going to take 2 actions. The first action they're going to do is they're going to ask themselves, do they hold the most relics and banners? Yes. They've got the whistle, the banner, the people's favor, the grand scepter. So that is true. So they're moving along this red line, and they go all the way here, and they drop right here on the muster action. Now, the way they do the muster action is they put money on cards, leftmost card first, and then for each one they put down, they get 2 guys. So here we go. We got some guys. Then if they had a rival, that is another player who owns a relic, a rival site with the fewest, which they do. Oh, sorry, this is a rival site. They have to own sites. Sorry, let me back up here. So right now, they don't have any rivals. So they're not going to go battle me, thank goodness, because I would just lose. And so what they're going to do now for their second action is they're going to move to the site where they make the most money. Again, they already are at that site. So they will then proceed to just make money. No favor is gained because that's empty. And then I'm going to check to see what happens if no favor is gained on a trade. Skip this action if you would gain no favor at all. And then they go to the muster action. Oh, they're stuck in a loop. What did I do wrong? Oh, I see. So what's going to happen is they're going to loop back, and then when they get here, they would gain nothing, so they'll gain a single favor from the... on the travel. So the way this works, I see what I did. So they go when they travel. So right now they're going to travel to the site where they make the most stuff. Right now, they don't make money anywhere, and if they don't make money anywhere, they just take a buck in the travel action. Where is this? Yep, no favor can be gained from trade. You gain one favor from the favor deck closest to the world deck that has favor. So they just get a secret buck. So they're like, what's happening basically right now is the bot is building up its potentials. So bot's hanging out here, hasn't had a reason to leave yet, but they're gonna get feisty pretty soon. Okay, so that's the bot's turn. I now go to yellow's third turn. Now, for those of you who've played Oath before, you know that one of the things about Oath is that the first few turns it can feel like you're just screwing around, that you don't know what to do. And then as soon as the game starts going, you're like, oh no, why did I waste all that time screwing around? That's what's happening right now. So I need to start to go. Someone is asking a question about rivals. Oh, like, would you count the bandits as rivals? No. Yeah, I'm not going to derail the stream and look up the precise citation, but like, the bandits don't. Think about it this way: if the bandits ruled the most sites, they don't become the Oath Keeper, right? So like, they're not a player. Okay, so I need to start battling, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fight right here. So the way this works is I'm going to actually target. Do I want to go for both? Let's go for both. We'll go for big. So I'm going to target two sites here, this one and this one. Now that means that the defender is going to get to roll 2 dice, right, for those, and then they're going to gain a dice because they're the Oath Keeper. And then I'm going to have a whopping 5 dice. I don't like these odds, but do I want to do this? It seems like a disaster. Tell you what I'm going to do. Before this battle starts, this is the advantage of playing solo. I can just change what I'm going to do. I'm going to first use this to get some, I'll do this, sorry, to get some favor. And then I'm going to use this to recruit. And now I'm going to spend 2 to battle. And now I'm walking into this fight with 7 beautiful boys. That's not 7, that's 7. Okay, now the bot, the Chancellor bot is going to use their bear traps on me. So one of my folks falls into a bear trap. It's a bummer. And then let's see what we have to roll against. So the bot, we're defending these 2 sites. They roll. Oh, it's horrible. This is bad. I'm not going to win this fight. So that's 2 plus 6 is 8. Not impossible, but it's going to be expensive. All right. Horrible roll. 1, 2, 3. So if I wanted to win this, I could spend all of my guys. Not worth it. So I will take the loss. I'll take the L. Half of my folks die. It was bad. I was maybe a little overzealous there. What do we do? Let's Stream. Okay, let's see. What am I going to do? Yes, thank you. Don't forget about my scouts. Okay, I need to get money, and then I need to build an army. These are the things I need. Can't win without an army. I also feel like I need a good battle plan. But I've seen some of the cards that have come out. Okay. Let's do this. We're going to go up here. And then I'm going to trade with the storyteller. And, oh no, hearth is empty. Psych. I'm going to, okay, sorry, I'm rewinding a little bit. I traded, I recruited, I battled. Okay, and then I gained one from my scouts. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go this way. Brutal. This is brutal. I need money, but I got no money. All right, let's go $2. I'm going to move out here. Because of my drum, I get a guy. And then I'm going to spend my last action to go here and take a really bad trade. Yeah. Okay, so I'm in a bad way. I don't know what I'm going to do. This bot is going to just wreck me. Especially because the bot's just going to keep revving and slowly recruiting up a big engine. All right, so into my turn, I have 3, 6, 9 or more, so I go there. And oh, you're right, the narrow pass. It's okay. We'll just do this. It's almost the same thing. There we go. Thank you for calling the narrow pass. Okay. Boy, yellow's in a tight spot. You're in a tight spot. All right, let's go to the bot. It's turn 4. I feel terrified. This might be a short game where the bot just destroys me. And then maybe I'll play another one. Okay, so let's see what we got. All right. The bot is in this condition. And oh, when you earlier asked about the rival spot with the fewest, you were right. I'm wrong. Yeah, so there's it's a good note. So the bot would have behaved a little differently. They'll probably correct right now. So the bandits are rivals. They don't have relics, but they are rivals in this way because you can 100%. I got confused. Sorry, I'm working on another game that also uses the word rival, and so I got a little backwards. Does the bot use tactics on defense? They do. Okay. So let's get to it. Sorry, this needs to move here. We've got this stuff going. We are looking for the highest friend. Second wind is the highest friend, so they are going to play second wind. It gets discarded to advance that there. And then they get 2 warbands and a tactics improvement because the card could not be played on the board. Okay, then these cards go there. All right, I've got 3 actions. Let's take a look. First action. Oh, I didn't do the cleanup stuff. Sorry. Okay, first action. Make that money. And they're going to make money. Oh, it's so scary. Second action. They are going to muster. Yo, I'm going to lose this game. I just made so many mistakes. Okay, so they now have a pretty big army. Third action. They are battle ready, so they're going to go to the rival site with the fewest. That's the bandits. They're going to go fight the bandits here. There's the bandits. Okay, they move over there. This is their third action, and they're going to battle against the bandits. The bandits are rolling. They have 1 blue die here, And +1 is the result. So nothing. The bot here is rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which is all the dice +2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there we go, 10. So they need to roll 12. They always fight with their whole army. They win, but I'm going to roll all the dice because they're going to lose some of their guys because of attrition. They're big armies. They lose 4 guys just because of their roll. They slammed it, obviously, and won. And then the site that they won, they divide their forces between sites 1. Whoops, I'm sorry, I put them face down. Face up, rather. And their player board. Okay. Poor friend, poor yellow is really struggling here. Yeah, please, never feel pressure about bots. Bots are really hard, especially in a stream setting. Anybody who streams a bot, you have all my respect. Okay, so that was the third action. We're good. Do the cleanup step. Cleanup step, looking good. And we gotta put this stuff here. Okay, so it's turn 4. Next turn, the bot's gonna start rolling the game in die, so I gotta get my butt into gear. So now that I'm through the narrow pass, this is like the one time I get to. Okay. I got a plan. I think I'm gonna be okay maybe. But I gotta be aggressive. Oh my gosh. I need 3 sites. What's happening here is that, like, if I move up here to the Barren Coast, and if I take the Barren Coast to the Tribunal, we're just dead split, and he's going to hold on to this, and I've got to get it from him. So I need to, like, build up, and so then I'm building up and kind of hoping that my last throw is really strong. The bot threw away some battle plans. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This is where, like, the game does feel a little bit different than the real game, because I know what I'm drawing here. And I'm going to take these longbows. The second wind is so good, though. I might actually co-find. Here, I'll show folks what second wind does. This is, like, exactly the kind of card that I don't want to... Oh, sorry, Steve Owen. I will... Yeah, this should be 2 higher. Because I flipped 2 battle plans. And I even talked about that. So I wanted to show folks second wind, which is a really... Second wind's an interesting card because we like... This card had a bunch of different powers at different stages in the development process, and then it ended up, like, coming back and having almost the same power, just in a different context. So we'll put those down there. Okay, so that was the start. The next thing I want to do... Maybe we do that. Okay. It's hard because I don't want to put my face on the board here. Okay, so we're going to move 2, and I'm actually going to leave the provinces, go back to the Tribunal, and then spend my last 2 actions. I get 1 guy for moving. Thanks, Drum. Spend my last 2 actions doing double recruits. I'm getting ready to go. And then, end of my turn. Is that the 3rd vision? Let me double check. 1, 2... No, just 2 so far. It's probably 3rd vision around the bend. Do I have anything fancy else I'm doing? I don't think so. I'm going just here, and then I only have 5 guys left, so I'm moving to that level of supply. So I'll have a bit of an abbreviated turn next turn. I don't have any cash, but I do have the army that I probably need to get this war properly engaged. Okay, so that was turn 4. Now we move on to turn 5. The cleanup step is done. And now I will check chat very briefly. Sorry, I didn't go back to the other camera. Okay. How do you get into the Oath Playtest Discord? It doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, it still exists, but basically, sometimes when we're running projects, we create branch Discords, which we hang out in. And usually they're invitation only, but it's pretty easy to get in. Basically, you just have to like ask. And so, you send me a DM or something. If we're like looking for playtesters, so we have already pretty well staffed up the like new root material playtesting Discord. I have a project I'm working on that I will start a playtesting Discord for like in a month or two. And then, if I'll like on a stream like this, when I'm showing the game, I might say, hey, if you're interested in joining the Discord, send me an email. And if you do, I'll let you in. Oh, hey, Ryan. How to split, it is equal among all sites that you won when you split warbands, with the odd remainder going to the Prince board. Okay, so we're on turn 5. For people just joining us, I'm losing pretty bad here. It's not great. I've got a plan though. With longbows and with this big army, I think I'm going to try to conquer all 3 sites at the same time. If I'm somewhat lucky in my roll, I'll be able to do that and then put the Prince on a defensive footing. I just can't have him be taking these rolls because it'll wreck everything. Okay, so let's get to the Prince's turn. So the Prince will, first thing, draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the third vision. And we check these. Oh my gosh, this is a little bit of a disaster. This is 2 battle plans. The Prince's tactics are now very strong. This right here is a massive problem that I will deal with when it gets to my turn. The Prince is in this zone. So what they're going to do is they're going to play friends if they can. So they're going to take the Traveling Doctor and play them. There are no sites that they can play to the Traveling Doctor. So Traveling Doctor will get discarded. It gets discarded out here. And then these 2 get discarded as well. And then this thing moves up there. Now, because they couldn't play a card, they gain 2 warbands. And at tactics level, they've maxed their tactics. So they are strong, strong, strong. People's Favor does need feeding, correct? That is a small good thing. Yeah, Brett has a good idea, which is like, what am I doing trying to conquer sites? I know where the visions are at. I just should start working for something else. But I think I might be able to do sites, maybe. I don't know. We will see. I might be being too inflexible. Okay. So now let's go to the actions. So we have 4 actions. And we're beginning here. So first action is we have to ask, hey, do you rule the most sites? Yeah, we do, definitely. Zoop. Oh, do you need a banner, the Darkest Secret of the People's Favor? Hey, we do need the Darkest Secret. So we're going to trade for secrets. Now at this site, they have 1 Wizard Conspirator, so they're going to get 1 secret for being there. Good for them. Cool. That's action 1. Action 2, can they pay for the Darkest Secret? They cannot. They need 2 secrets to buy it. They've only got 1. So they're going to go to the site where they would generate the most. That's this site, so that's skipped. So they're going to once again generate a secret. So we're only on action 2 right now. Action 3, can they pay? They can. So we do that. We get that there. So look at that. They've got a nice little array here. And then for the 4th action, they are going to go ahead and take another search. So this is like we're in the mid game right now, and the Ba is real strong, which happens sometimes. So we're going to do another search. Oh no. Okay. We are in a zone that's wanting to play friends. Neither one of these is a friend, so they're going to take an leftmost unaligned 2 friends. In this case, it is order. So they do that. There's nowhere they can put this on the board, though. Gets discarded, and they get to gain $2 from the order suit into their ambition box. Oh my gosh. Problem. This is I'm doing these. My discards are all out of order here. Okay. So that was their fourth action. Zoop. We stick that there. Put that on top of there. Yeah, I need to pivot. Nick is right. What am I doing? It's like that. Something that we would tell each other in playtesting, and I think Josh was always very good about this, where he's like, why do I keep doing the same thing and think it's going to work? I have to just realize the game can be about more than that. Well, I'm partly trying to stick with one strategy just because I haven't played the bot in a while, and I feel very comfortable staying in my lane a little bit. All right, how we doing? Good. Okay, so, and we did feed the people's favor. We're good there. Okay, Exile. So his tactics, let's just break it down. His tactics are going to kill 3 of my guys. So what we're really talking about is an army that is this big, that is 6 big. Plus I'll benefit from my longbows. Longbows is a 4. Sorry, it's card 4. It's a cheap, it doesn't cost anything to use. It's very strong. Longbows colored by Kyle on a stream. On a stream hosted on this very channel. And okay, you know what? Let me take a peek at this. The Book of Records. I don't want the Book of Records. The Book of Records is a must power, which means like you have to do it, and it means that you only take secrets instead of favor when you're trading, or sorry, when you're searching. Okay. Can I do it? The numbers are not great, but okay. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to first trade at the wayside end to get 2 favor. Then I'm going to muster here on this order card to get 2 warbands. Trade, muster. I'm going to travel up here to the marshes. And then, because I'm traveling, I get to use my dragon skin drum to get another guy. And then with my last 2, I'm going to fight. And I'm going for all the marbles. So in selecting my objectives here, I choose that I'm going to fight for the marshes, for the tribunal, and for the barren coast. I want it all. And let's just kind of look at what we're looking at in terms of numbers. So I've got 12 dice here. So this is 10. So I've got 12 warbands. Normally I'd be rolling 12 dice to start, but I'm going to lose I'm going to lose 1 guy because of his bear traps. So that kills a die. So now I'm at 11 dice. Then I'm going to lose 3 dice here. Now I'm at 8 dice. So we're down to 8 dice. And then I've got longbows, so I'll gain 1 die. You know, it could happen. It could happen, stream. Okay, let's see what we got to do. So what to do? All right, here we go. All right, doable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The defensive power is 6. I need a roll of a 7. I will win this roll. The question is, how much am I going to have to pay to win it? Hopefully nothing. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lose 1 for that skull rolled. But otherwise, I get it. So very light losses here. The defender loses half of their guys. The other half return to the Chancellor's cohort. And now I get to take control of these sites and redeploy. Now, there's some funny things that happen, and you can kind of optimize your Chancellor bot math, because he's going to want to target my weakest stuff. So I could bait him into targeting there, and then I could do other things. So we're going to go like here, and then I kind of want like most of my little strike team hanging out with me. So I've got these 4 guys. Now, after that battle, I get a supply because of my scouts. I also, before I finish my turn, I'm going to use, because I rule the Roving Terror, I'm going to put a secret on the Roving Terror to use its power. So remember, you can use powers of any cards you rule. And I'm going to use this Roving Terror to go eat this Wizard School. Discard any Denizen card at another site. Here, this is why I did this after all. So here's the Roving Terror. I put a secret on it. It discarded the Wizard School, and then it moves to its spot. So we have all the poor little wizards got eaten by the Roving Terror, and then it is discarded. Okay. Now, why did I do that? I did that because that was a place where he could earn secrets, and just in case we get there, I just don't want him earning anything. And also, it frees a slot here, which is quite nice. Now, I could spend. No, I can't actually. Do I want to muster? Is the main question. No, I think we're good. I think we're gonna cruise. So I do claim the Oathkeeper piece because I rule the most sites now, which means at the end of my turn. So I perform I'm gonna save my supply. So I have 10 out. Sorry. So I only have 4 in my supply. So I go here. I'm at the very edge of that. And because I had 1 left over, gets here. Scouts, man, adds up. Oops, sorry. I've got all my little people. I'm sorry, didn't put them right. There we go. Okay, so into my turn, this comes back to me. This comes back to me. This goes here. Now, in a multiplayer game, this is a risky thing. So the Roving Terror is one of those cards that if you use it to attack another player's domain, they'll then rule the Roving Terror, and next turn they can send it back to your kingdom. So you got to be careful passing it around. What about the narrow pass comments? Oh, try and rewind for 1 additional blue die. I can do that. 1 more dead. I'll take it from here. Yeah, so I rolled that for the Oathkeeper. We're good there. The narrow pass. When did I miss it? Oh, I can't campaign unless I also campaign the narrow pass. I'm sorry, we're going to take a mulligan on that because I can't. I'm not going to rewind, especially after I won. Don't take this from me. That is correct. Narrow pass remains my favorite site and the site that I screw up all the time. Yeah, sorry. I thought I was so good about checking for movement. All right, so where are we at? I'm done. No die is rolled because the Chancellor doesn't have the Oathkeeper, just like the regular game. And now we move on to the Clockwork Prince. Okay, now the Clockwork Prince is under threat. Whoosh. For the first time, there is an Exile Oathkeeper, which will transport this marker to the operative, not the operative, but the quadrant associated and the role associated. So you may notice this little Tower of the Flag matches that Tower of the Flag. It's the kind of thing that one thing I'll say to folks who are like, oh, I also mess up this stuff. When you play with multiple players, I find that you check each other a lot. One of the biggest problems with solo games, not a problem with solo games, it's just an element of them, is that it's really easy to make little mistakes like this. I watched a really great Jeff Eggleston talk once about solo games, and he talked about the Empire of the Sun bot that Mark Herman developed, and that bot is awesome. It's so cool, but I look at it and I'm like, I could never keep my concentration up enough to get through it perfectly. Okay. All right. So we go here, and the die. Yeah, we're just hanging there. Where are people asking me to put the die? Oh yeah, this you put it here. If the there's some UI stuff here you could do. You could put it in the middle, and then if the Chancellor's going to roll it, you could put it on the thing to show that they're going to roll it. I'm putting it off the thing to show that this game isn't going to end on the die. We're going to be fine. All right, Clockwork Prince. Let's get to it. So first, they need to draw their cards. They have 3 cards drawn. Zoop. And they're in this quadrant, which is they really want to play friends. Their highest friend is here. So they're going to play that to go up there. All right. Is there a place they can put it? There is. They can put the battle honors right there. Happens. And then they get 1 from this bank. These 2 cards get discarded out here. One thing I hope this illustrates is that you don't need to draw cards. I mean, I'm not doing super well, but one of the things I see new players do at Oath occasionally is they're like, oh, I gotta find the perfect card, and they just spend all their turns drawing cards. And you can play and win this game without drawing a single card. That's not, well, I have seen it. I've won a game with only 1 search action. I don't think I've ever managed a 0 search action game, but I mean, in theory, it's possible. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're doing 3 actions. Oh wait, this is a battle plan. Well, his tactics can't increase. Okay, so we got 3 actions. First, are we battle ready? Hey, it's the first time we can talk about being battle ready. Being battle ready basically says you want to go fight the rival site with the fewest. And to be battle ready, you need to have more war bands in the prince's board than there are on the site, plus the blue dice that you would need to roll. So this site can only be attacked by a prince if they have at least 3. We're totally battle ready. So we know the prince is going here because they're all going to the fewest site. And then they will extend their campaign to take up more if they can. So this site requires, so this is 2. And then if they wanted to go here, that'd be 3, 4, 5, 6. So they would need 7 if they wanted to target both these sites, and they have them. They can't target the marshes. And in fact, they're choosing to target the tribunal instead of the marshes because the marshes would push them over their limit. But is that true? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yep. So they have 8. They couldn't do it, so that they can target these 2 spots. So everybody, I'm on the defensive for the first time this game. I'm just so proud. Okay, I'm so happy that I've made it to be on the defensive. And I'm going to show him no mercy. Okay, so note when you're figuring out battle ready, you don't do battle plans or Oathkeeper bonuses or things like that. Okay, so my defensive roll is going to be 2 for the 2 sites he's targeting. Bloop, bloop. By the way, this is something that we did in our playtests a lot. We would mark the objectives with battle dice. And then I get 1 more because I'm the Oathkeeper. That's right, me. I'm the Oathkeeper. And the prince is rolling 8 dice for starters. Now, does the prince have any battle plans they want to use? Not really, no. Do I have any battle plans I want to use? Well, funny you ask. Prince is going to fall into a bear trap. So let's get rid of that guy right away. And then I'm using my longbows to lower their combat effectiveness by 1. All right, the size of my defensive force is here. So we're going to roll these dice. So 1 times 2 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 defense, and then the prince rolls their dice. Wait, sorry. I didn't show it. Did I include? Oh, I didn't include tactics. You're right. Is there anything else? I am. Right, he's not going for the marshes. Oh, you're right. Okay, we're just gonna have him go for the tribunal, and then I'm gonna check something about being battle ready. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. That is right. Yeah, he's not attacking the marsh. I made a mistake and put the blue die there. He's attacking the tribunal. Now, he's got 6 dice he's rolling, plus 3 because of his tactics. This is what I meant about him being a problem child earlier. Okay, so he's ruining my day here. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, but he loses 3 for attrition. Thank goodness. And then he has got to divide his armies equally among his sites and his cohort. So we're going to do that. And then half of my guys die, and the other half come home to me. All right, so not the end of the world. Just really upset. He took it back from me. Okay, so what am I gonna do? All right, he has retaken it. That was his first action, by the way. And he's got 3. The second action is he is hoofing it to the place where he makes the most money, which is not, he does not have a lot of options here. So like he's making $1 from this site, no dollars from this site, $1 from that site. So he's going to go to the topmost site. Great. And then he will make $1 from Hearth, which he'll do. And that was his third action. So he is all done. And then we do any cleanup. I think that is it. There. Oh, you're right. Actually goes along the red arrow. You're right. Oh, get back here. Rewind. Goes along the red arrow. So goes along the red arrow. Does he rule the most sites? Yes. Does he have both of the things? Yes. So he will just go right. And basically what this does is it's going to lead him to make money again. So he'll make money. He can't make money there, so he moves to the site where he makes the most. It's almost the same action chain. It just puts him in a different spot on this board. Okay, which is important, especially when you get in like the 2-player thing. So someone asked about oath shipping. We'll update you soon. It's complicated. I don't really want to get in a whole stream about it. Nothing's wrong, but it's, there are lots of copies of Oath on mini containers, and they're in different places, which is as designed because you all live in different places too. Okay. And I think you should have searched because the bot has the people's favor. Oh yeah, you're right. Gosh dang it. He should have searched again. Okay, we're gonna do it correctly. I'm rewinding it again. Searching. Searching, playing the highest friend. No friends here. But they'll make the nomads be aligned. No place to put it. And they get 2 from the nomads into the ambition box. That's action 2. Action 3 is they move to the site where they're going to make the most favor. Well, thank you, chat. No, I appreciate it. Okay. This is actually, I'm having a great time because I've been typing ad copy all day and doing interviews. And interviews are fun too, but this is more fun. Okay. So now we look at Poor Yellow Exile. We're on turn 6. The die that's being rolled on a 5. It's over. So I don't like that. In order for me to stop that from happening, I could slide down to the tribunal and go for a small battle and kind of get in this back and forth with the bot and hope that I can exhaust him. The ideal scenario would be to make like something like a killing blow where, I mean, just like Oath, right? You have to be careful about the little back and forths because you'll exhaust yourself and the Chancellor will win or a citizen, right? And so usually you want to wait until you get like the knockout blow. I am not getting a knockout blow probably this turn though. There's also a pretty good chance he's going to start getting relics, which I really don't want him to do. Not that it matters because I don't think I'm going to be able to do that condition. Okay. I got a little bit of money I can get. I can build up my guys and then I can spend them. Yeah, I mean, I've got scouts, so I should be fighting. What am I doing? I should be fighting. And I got to get bear traps back. High priority, get bear traps back. He had the keep, didn't he? It's out there, though. Narrow pass is a problem. I regret, you know what I regret? I regret sending the Roving Terror earlier, because the Roving Terror has this great combination with forest paths. So like, here, I'll show you. So like, here's the Roving Terror, and one of my favorite combos in the game is to also, whoops, not bear traps, to also have, so you have the Roving Terror, and then you combine it with forest paths. And it's awesome because you can send the Roving Terror somewhere, and then you can use forest paths to get like the free move to get up there. And it's just great. It's a great combo. All right, so I could get lucky. I mean, that's the thing. I can get lucky. I've been lucky before. It kills me that like this card could be the absolute key, but I'm not drawing it because I just don't have the supply. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to, ooh, is that the play? Here we go. I'm gonna use the Memory of Home power. I am burning this secret, it's gone, and I'm moving all the favor from the Nomad Bank to the Hearth Bank. This is one of those cards with cute art, but great devastating power. Then I'm going to use that card to draw a buck. Oh, wait, this is a bad move. What am I doing? Rewind. I'm rewinding is what I'm doing. Oh, but it's not. No, it is bad. It's a bad move. Bad move. I got so excited. Yeah, no, this is wrong. Not the right way to win this game. Get your head in the game. Here we go. We are trading with the Storyteller to get the last buck from Hearth. Then I'm going to recruit here to get 2 more guys. And then I'm going to travel down here. And when I travel, I get my Dragon Skin Drum dude. He's going to be helpful. And then I'm going to battle. Campaign here. I'm fighting for the Tribunal, and I'm fighting for the Barren Coast. And I don't feel great about it, but I got to do something. So here's 2 for those 2 sites. There's 1 for the Oathkeeper. And then he's got bear traps he's going to use on me, so I lose a guy. And a die, which we'll do in a second. The defensive, oh, I got to do the pass, don't I? Okay. Okay. I want you to know I didn't even look at the chat. I just looked at the board and saw it and thought, it's the narrow pass. I have to deal with it. All right. I have an idea. I'm rewinding slightly. I'm moving to the narrow pass. I've got a better idea. Here's my idea. I'm going to use forest paths to run to the narrow pass. Then I'm going to fight for just the narrow pass. When I run there, I get another guy. I could have optimized this a little bit better. This is okay. I've had too many mulligans. Beat the drum. I did. I put my guy on there. I could have taken this guy with me, but it's just one site. It's just one site. Okay, I'm gonna fight it. So we're fighting here. That's 1 blue die plus 1 because of the Oathkeeper. His bear traps work, so I lose a guy. Oh, sorry, dude. Roll these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that sounds like a lot, but he's got these tactics. So actually, I'm rolling 4. And the magic number is 6 here, which I'm not going to get on these, probably. So there's going to be some sacrifices to happen. Okay. So there's 3. Now I can win this if I kill 4 of my guys, which I can do. 2, 3, 4. Ugh. Half these guys go to the bank. The other half come back to him. The narrow pass, now mine. Now, you know what I'd really like to do? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. If this game doesn't end, I have a cool combo I'm going to do next turn. Maybe I'll say that. Oh, yeah, longbow. Hey, save a man's life. Thanks, chat. You know, yes, correct. You know it's the end of the game. You're like, wait, no, don't. Let me do it again. I actually think that when I'm playing with lots of people, I think it's personal preference. I like Oath when it's played a little fast and loose and goofily and wrongly by, not wrongly, but just, you're going to make mistakes. So when I'm playing with people, our general rule is like, no take backsies. You made a mistake. When I'm playing alone, I think I feel differently about this. Okay. Yeah, so the thing about that, I thought Iggy Kid that it would be a huge deal to be counting warbands, but if you just group them in 3s, it almost does the same thing. It's a little harder for the Chancellor, but they don't need our help. They're fine. Okay, so the Chancellor still has this. So they're going to roll this dice. And the game could be over, and then I'll tell you how to pack it up, I guess. Nope. That's a 2. Put it right here. 2. The game remains in play. And now it's going to get really, really scary. Because it's 3. And Chancellor, I've got a little bit. I might get lucky on this turn. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I've already cheated once, so there's a big asterisk on this game. Or maybe, probably more than once. All right. So, we're on turn 7. And it's time for me to figure out what the prince is going to do. 1, 2, 3. Here are the 3 cards. 3 cards say as follows. Well, first I have to assess the threat. There is no threat, so my guy stays where I'm at. So it goes here. When you move back to no threat, you don't adjust this. It just keeps running. Like that. Oh yeah, I should do my cleanup. We have a tradition in the playtesting of me just forgetting to do my secret cleanup. So if ever there's a stray secret, it's like, oh, it's Cole, so you left it behind. Okay. Did you gain a supply when you battle on your last turn? I don't think I did, because I thought I was supposed to end with 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoop. Plus 2. So this is a good supply situation to be in. You never want to be in that situation where you've only got like 4 supply for the very last turn of the game when you need the reach. Okay, so the Chancellor is looking for a conspirator. There are no conspirators. None of these can become conspirators, so it's going to play a friend, and it will play this friend. So the Chancellor is going to have 5 actions. This might be, if this Chancellor comes to scrape with me, it's going to be bad, because I'm going to get wrecked and ruined here. Can't be played on the board. Hilariously small map. This game. Part of that map smallness is because I misread this chart a little bit, and the Chancellor wasn't out scouting. It will scout. Once it rules all the face-up sites, it will start going out and looking for other sites. Okay, so we have the Chancellor. The Chancellor got 5 actions. So this is kind of what I didn't want to happen. I really wanted a Beast card to be drawn, because if a Beast card is drawn, 2 actions, I might be able to deal. This is going to be rough. So, very first step is the Chancellor's going to gain some bread. There's no bread to be gained. So we skip this action. So we're still on no actions done. And they're going to go to a site with a relic. Whoop. Can they pay? Yes, they can. Ooh, yes, they can. So these three are going to get paid to order. So this is action 2, and they take the Book of Records. This is why I'm not going to be able to compete with relics for this guy. You kidding me? In testing, I did beat the bot on every setting, but that was when I really remembered how he worked. And it's been a bit for me. Okay, so that was action. So we did 1, 2. Action 3, I hold the most relics and banners. So coming down here and recruiting. So we do that. That's action 3. And then action 4, moving to the place where I make the most money, which I think I'm there. Yep, I'm there because I'm here, so that gets skipped. 1, 2, 3. Wait a second, let me count this up. I was here. I went 1, I went 2, I went 3, skip, 4, make that money. And then the 5th thing I'm going to do is muster. Ooh. I've only forgotten the people's favor like twice. I'll have you know. There you go. I'll pay it. Yeah, I was actually like, this is the one of the things that can happen that I've been avoiding is one of the things that's been happening that I've been avoiding is if I were a little stronger, the bot would be cleaning my clock right now. But because I'm just weak enough to not seem like a threat, kind of slide by. I mean, that's Oath, right? You just want to seem like not quite a threat. Okay, it's me, and it's not looking great, but this is, I mean, I can't go here. So I have a couple options. I could go 2-2 and try to pull 2 new sites into the zone. Now, one advantage of this is when the bot is playing cards, they're going to play cards into sites that I rule. That's good. It also will stretch me out a little bit more, which might be good for the blue dice. The other thing I can do, and this is probably a bad idea for this particular game, is so the most underused action in the game is banishing people, attacking them just for position, because you'll destroy their army. And like this bot, if I ruined his army, he might not be able to respond. And then I can get a usurper win on turn 8. Patrick tells me to bargain with the bot. Hey, bot, let me be a citizen. Why would you let me be a citizen? I don't understand. I don't know what I should do. What does chat think? Should I? So I feel like I have 2 options. One, I can secure the Barren Coast, maybe draw cards, kind of hunker down. 2, I could go out and open up some new sites and then battle for those. So I go 2, battle, get 1 back, draw. It's not bad. Take the tribunal, banish the pawn. It's this high tactics with the 4, because then I just don't have the army. You know what I should do? I'm gonna do the thing that forces me to move the most, because I use my drum. And I've got the terror in this combo, so that's just always gonna be hopping for me. Move, battle. Recruit. And I could always like find a good site. It could happen. Do I spend the bottom dollar? Recruiting. I think I have to. Okay. And then I'm pulling up these guys that come with me. They're riding with me. I'm going to leave 2. I feel like that little edge helps. It's hard though because he's got a lot of hidden power. Whatever. Nope. I'm going to take it. All right. We're moving. What do we got? What do we got? Ooh, Drowned City. Maybe useful earlier. With some relics. Cracked Horn. Ring of Devotion. If I had money, I would buy that Ring of Devotion. I wish I could do a card. I wish I had the relics loaded in here because I could. Yeah, so my strategy is definitely use the terror. So like my whole plan was I'm going to use the terror on the bear traps, and then I'm going to rush in there and give him the punch. But I don't think I'm strong enough. I think he might beat me. It's like a very dangerous pitched battle because he's got a blue die for him for the site. Yeah, I can't do it. It's all right. Maybe I made a mistake. I kind of want to play again now. So not tonight though. I got a lot of other work I have to do today. So that's Drowned City. Let's move up here. See what we get. It's the Buried Giant. It's the Buried Giant. Now that's a very good card to find at this stage of the game. And we found the Obsidian Cage. Obsidian Cage, hilarious way to cripple the spot. Wish I would have had that. Oh, I could have this item right now. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to battle for these 2 sites against the bandits. I've got 5 guys. Bandits are rolling 2 blue dice plus 2 because there's natural forces on there. The backs of these, by the way, these little tokens these are all bandit pieces. The bandits aren't really war bands, so we didn't include them in the game. But like for players, it's a little reminder. There's a bandit here. He only fights if there's no one else there. So there's a bandit, or if you have some special cards. So I'm fighting these 2 sites. I got my longbows, nothing else. Good. Okay, so 3 is the number to beat. I'm rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then I get longbows for 6. I'm not going to roll that 6th die. I'm only going to roll 4 dice because I don't want to roll a bunch of skulls. You can always roll under. Cool thing that just happened there. So 1, 2, 3. 4. And that was all I need. I just need 4 because they had 3, right? Yes. Thank you for telling me about the drum. So I got the drum here, Drowned City. Did I already get my Drowned City drum? I can't remember. So this is right here. And then, oh, you did. Okay, cool. Drowned City drum and then Buried Giant drum. Cool. Then, so I'm going to take these guys out. We're going to put them like that. Keep my little army together. After the battle, I've got not longbows. I have scouts, so I gain a supply. You know what I'm going to spend that supply on? I'm going to burn the secret. Whoop. And I'm going to recover the Obsidian Cage. The Obsidian Cage, I guess I'll put it on here because it's at a higher level of zoom. Basically, if I win battle, all unkilled warbands in your enemy's force, they go to the cage. And then as an action, I can give them back. Obviously, I'm not. You can use this to choke the bot in some situations. One problem with it, and actually this is a little sneak like design note. I never worry about broken combos with the relics because if you win the game with a broken combo with the relics, they get locked in your reliquary, and then it's going to get broken up by players in previous games. Okay, cool. So now I'm feeling good. It's possible So, no die is rolled. We're now on the 8th turn. Now, here it's worth reviewing what the conditions are at the end of the game. So, the Empire wins the game if they're the Oathkeeper. Okay? The second win condition is if someone is the Usurper, they win the game. Third is it goes to a Visionary who has fulfilled these visions. Fourth, the Empire wins by default. So the only way for me to win the game is if the bot does not stop me right now. Bot stops me, I lose the game, and there's no way for me to win. But if I stop it, if he doesn't. So I'm not feeling super hopeful. I think they're going to beat me right now, but I made it to turn 8. That's worth something. Okay, so first thing that happens is we see if there's a threat. Yes, there's a threat. It's the Oathkeeper threat. So this automatically gets right. And then slow down. That's the threat. Now we got to do the cards. 1, 2, 3. We've got the Errand Boy and Rain Boots and the Taming Charm. They need the highest friend, which in this instance is, wildly enough, this card. Hope for me yet. This card will get put there. These 2 cards will get discarded here. Now we take actions. Oh, sorry, they need $1 from the bank. Okay. Oh, and we have to feed the... they actually can't feed this. So it... goes there. So that they were unable to feed the People's Favorite Bank, so it goes down. Okay. All right, 3 actions. It's possible. It's very unlikely. We'll see. So are they battle ready? Of course they're battle ready. They're going to the rival site with the fewest pieces. They're going to go to the leftmost one, which is here technically. Are they battle ready? Yes, they are. So this site here, we've got, 1, 2, because of the blue dice. So we've got more than 2. So then we go to the next fewest, 3, 4. They can totally do that because they've got 5. And then they could even do 6, 7, 8. So they would need 9. They can't do it. They can only battle for these 2. Is the CP affected by the narrow pass? They are not. The narrow pass is explicitly called out on the kinds of things that doesn't affect them. However, my preference for playing the game when my head is screwed on a little more straight is to make them be affected by all the things that I feel like they can be affected by, just because it creates the more interesting story. Don't forget added die to attack. Yes, added die to tactics, totally a thing, but you don't include that in figuring out if they're battle ready, I don't believe. Where is the rule on being battle ready? Oh no, battle ready is just able to roll more defense dice. I'm crazy. Sorry. They're able to target a lot, which is good. It'll make an exciting finish here. So let me recalculate that again. How many battle dice are they rolling? Well, they've got 8 plus 3 is 11. And we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they can't do this one. So they can attack everything I own except this. And because I've got these 3 guys here. So like this one, they're at 8 right now, and this thing would add 4 or 5. So that's not going to work. Yep, you're right. Thank you, Steve. Owen. Steve is one of the several people here were playtesters on the Discord. So I really appreciate the rule checks. I think the vision track might be higher. Whatever. So I get 3. Hooray. They're at 11. Where's my little dice tray? There it is. So only 10 dice come in the game because often you'll have a number like 11 or 12, and the first thing you'll do to it is subtract some. So for instance, speaking of subtracting, here's bear traps. Bloop. Oh, no, I don't have bear traps. Yikes. And I'm going to get 4 blue dice because it's those. So the blue dice are coming from these 3 sites, and then 1 is coming from Oathkeeper. And they're rolling 11 dice minus 1 because of longbows to be an even 10. That's it. That's it, baby. All right, here we go. What's the magic number? I want all times 2s and then 1, 2, of course. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 5, 6, 7. Ain't gonna be it, but we'll roll it anyway. So 7's the total, 8's the number that beats it. That is gonna be more because they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They lose 2 guys. They're able to knock me off these sites. Half my guys come home to me. The other half are lost. And then the Chancellor wins. And that is the game. Now, obviously, the game... the game... Did I add die for... I did add die for Oathkeeper. It wasn't enough. I rolled 4. He took 3 sites. So that's the end of the game. Why is it the end of the game? Because normally I would play my last turn, of course, but there's nothing I can do because the visions are too far down. He's got all the other victory conditions locked up, and I have kind of like nothing. So we can call it. But I'll show you how to clean up the game. So the way this works is, here we go. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? This is exciting. Actually, here, tell you what, we're going to make this. I'll be right back, everyone. All right, I'm back. Look, it's the Chronicle summary. Like magic. Okay, so what we're going to do is clean up the game. Now, normally we follow this Chronicle summary pretty to the letter, but when you're playing with a bot, you make some very small adjustments that I will talk through you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just read the adjustments to you all. I don't mean to be patronizing, but I have not read this line in many months. So if you need to choose a goal reference, choose it at random. If you're in exile, do not offer citizenship. So first thing we'll do, these are our goal references, and I'm just going to shuffle them. We're shuffling, and the thing says, boom, supremacy. Okay, that's fine, whatever. It was random. I'm gonna trust the rules. If you're the Chancellor, you will build an edifice in the leftmost site you rule where you can build one. If there are no edifices in the archive, repair a ruined edifice in the leftmost site when you rule instead. Okay? And then when adding 6 cards to the archive, you use the suit from the edifice that you built. Okay, easy. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go through this sheet. So first, we vowed an oath. Now, normally, and I'm sorry, there's like a little pock mark here because I screwed it up. Oh, yeah, you're right. You have to choose, you can't choose the same one you just played. We're going to do Oathkeeper or Devotion. I mean, we're not going to do it because I'm going to go finish my emails for the day. But I will clean up the game with you all. So first, we vow an oath. Second, there's no citizenship offers that happen. The reason why the offer citizenship step is here is because you can make a metagame promise. You can say, hey, if you help me win, I will make you a citizenship in my kingdom. I'll give you a citizen next game. Now, why do you want a citizenship? Sometimes it's a little bit easier to win as a citizen than it is as a chancellor. So you're kind of giving that person a leg up, potentially. Okay, so now we go to clean up the map. So the winner can build or repair one edifice, and then we'll do that first. Now, the leftmost site is over here. Leftmost site, leftmost card. And so we go into the box. I'm just going to set this right here. It's kind of a mess. I'm sorry that's a mess. Just because we're getting everything going here. Oh, no. Where are my edifices in this set? I might have taken them out. Nope, there it is. Okay. So we grab the hearth edifice. So this Memory of Home card gets discarded and is replaced with the Hall of Debate. What is that? 201. I'll show you all what 201 looks like in just a second. Oh, sorry. Boop. There's the Hall of Debate. All right, yep, pretty good card. Players cannot target the people's favor. It's one of those that really changes the whole nature of the dang game. So you wanna always be careful about it. Yeah, I really like games with starting citizens. So quick story time. We very nearly didn't include 6 players into this game. So like, you know, when you're developing and designing, you're doing a lot of testing at 3 and 4 players because it's so much faster. And then 5 and 6 player games are like, oh, I guess we have to do that at some point. And so we hadn't played any 6 player games as we were getting up towards the Kickstarter. And then I told the production team, you know, we could cut a whole player of wood and just make it a 5 player game. And they were like, well, this is an expensive game anyway. If you think it's going to work, you should do it. I'm like, yeah, it should technically work. It might be too chaotic. It might be like 6 player root, which like you can play, but it can be chaotic. And then, so we played a little bit, and I was surprised at how fun it is. However, everybody has to know how to play the game. I love this game at 5 and 6 players, but everybody has to know how the game works, and oftentimes it's best when you have a few citizens in the mix too. Okay, so let's go here. So cleaning up the map. So first we do the edifice work. Then all sites except those ruled by the winner with intact edifice, you discard things, return ruined edifices. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna do this physically instead of reading at you. So basically, this guy gets lost. No one wants them. Let me just put that in a discard pile. And these guys get lost. We don't need you. Don't need you. And then all of these things that are ruled, what we're going to do is we're going to take off all the pieces. Obviously, the money can come off these cards. So this is the map. This is like what remained of the ruler's kingdom. And we have to go ahead and do the recording of it. Now, there are kind of 2 different ways of doing this. I like just doing it this way, which I put the cards like this. First, I stack all the cards on. And then the second step is I kind of start at the top and go like that. There we go. Here's our map. Okay, and then take this box. Oh, I forgot a step, y'all, because what you want to do after you make the map is you want to shuffle all of the sites like this and deal them out here so that the whole board is full. I'm probably skipping a little step, but you get it. So marshes are the first, they're on top. The undiscovered sites are on the bottom. All this stuff goes in the box. We'll put that here. The other thing that I'll put in the box is this card, the victory card, so we know what the victory condition is. Okay. So that is all the land stuff done with that. Now let's do the denizens. This is like my favorite stage. This is one of those rules that like hardly changed. Like when we were starting, I got asked, I was having an interview today, and the person asked me like, why is Oath complicated? Which is kind of a good question. Why is the game complicated? And actually, by the way, like I should have put some relics out and stuff. Not gonna worry about that. So because you don't do the world box until the very, very end for some reason. So I'm going a little out of order, but it's fine. Basically, as long as everything happens, you're good. But anyway, this interview asked me like, why is Oath complicated? And I was like, well, we knew that we needed the game to change. And in order to get it to change at the proper rate, we knew how many cards there needed to be. And we knew they needed to be unique. And so you start asking yourself the question of what kind of game can make a list of 200 cards expressive and interesting. And so then the game was built for the card list instead of the card list being built for the game, which is a funny thing. Okay, so you all these cards, what I'm going to do is pull out the visions. Don't need them. And now all the cards in my hand, these were cards that people hated, I hated in this game that I didn't give any love. And so, oops, there's a vision. Sorry. So all these cards, they just didn't get a lot of love, right? And so what we do is we shuffle them and we take 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these cards are gone. And I like to not look at them. I don't want to know what is out of the game. And they go into a section of the board of the box called the dispossessed. You can see that here. So, I'm going to like put this right there and then stick that in the box. Boom. There's the dispossessed, all gone. Then all the cards that remain, I feel like I might be missing a vision somewhere. Excuse me while I double check my vision count. Oh, there it is. Cool. So there should be 5 here. Okay, so these are the cards that we're keeping. Now, the edifice we upgraded was a hearth edifice. And so if you look at the board track right here, what that means if we built a hearth edifice as a chancellor, as the bot. The bot will key this off edifices. Players will use the most common advisor among their advisors. So hearth is going to add 3 cards to the deck. Beast will add 2 cards. Nomads will add 1. So going into the box over here, I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm going to go, this whole thing is a little backwards. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then the nomads. I have all these cards hilariously backwards, which is funny. 1, 2, 3. No, sorry, just 2. What am I doing? Sorry, just 1. My gosh, I'm all backwards today. So we do 3 of those, 2 of these, 1 of those. So we need 2 beasts. The problem is I'm looking at my box backwards. There we go. 2 beasts. Okay. Should we like peek at these? I feel like we should. Are they put in order again? No, in fact, these are randomized. You technically shuffle these right at the beginning when you set up the game, at the very, very beginning. And then, but when you're pulling cards, you're pulling random ones. So, okay, let's take a look at the ones that we're getting. This is always exciting. We've got a weighted return. Oh, you know what I'll do? Here, let's go to the other camera because I can just show you the cards we're adding. 150. A weighted return. Spend no supply if you sacrifice 1 warbanding turn. If you trade. So basically, if you like unmuster, you can unmuster yourself for action points. Then we also have 154, the Lancers. Double your total attack roll. Like all our mini Nomad battle plans, it comes with a discard condition. Here, this is a really good set of cards, guys. I'm excited. I think this copy I broke open to play this game might become our office copy. Because we don't really have a proper playing copy yet. Here's the Vow of Poverty. You cannot gain favor from trade, but if you have no favor when you rest, you get 2 from the favor bank. All right, here is another interesting card. This is the Forest Council. Enemies of the Forest Council's ruler cannot trade or muster from beast cards. So if you rule the Forest Council, nobody can do anything with beast cards except you. This is another favorite, that card. Wait, you know what? Am I not showing it? Oh my gosh, this is why if we're not looking at I didn't click the right button. All right, there's Forest Council. You can see it properly. We're going to quickly go through the other ones. Here I was typing all their numbers in. We had a weighted return was 150. And then the Lancers are 154. And then we've got, we had the Vow of Poverty. I feel like I would get in trouble if I didn't show you the art. Oh my gosh. I see what's happening. This is I have a bad macro setup. Sorry. Many apologies for this. So Vow of Poverty is great art, which I will promise you that I'll show you someday. Yeah, this is. I just bound my camera switching buttons to the numpad because I thought it was so cool. All right, so I won't use the numpad. There's the Vow of Poverty, and then one of my this was a very late in development card, but I think it is awesome. The Deed Writer allows you to negotiate a binding exchange of favor, secrets, and ruled sites with any player. You can give away your kingdom for a horse if you'd like. And then lastly, yeah, it's like I drafted these. This is a really good set. Whoops, it goes like that. Vow of Peace. My favorite card to take and then to regret taking. You cannot campaign. Attackers cannot sacrifice warbands to increase their attack against you. The Vow of Peace. There we go. So those are the cards that we added to the game. All right, let me get back so I can see chat. All right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry about the card. I thought it was going to be so seamless. It worked good, but I had not done that. So these cards, we just stack them right here on the deck, and then you do a shuffle, right? Like you shuffle them and you build your deck. One of the reasons why you build the deck at the end of the game instead of the beginning is mostly because I just find it it just cuts a step out. I feel like when you take a game out of the box and you're like, oh, what's the rule for making a deck? And you can tell I've played too many PAX games, right? And so, no, we have you build the deck at the end of the previous game. By the way, this cleanup process can go really fast. I'm kind of taking my time here. So the deck construction is right here on the board. So you do 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a stack. And then you do 15. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then the visions, the 5 visions, 2 are going to be mixed in here. 3 are going to be mixed in here. And I mix them under the table because I don't want to accidentally cheat. I'm sorry. I always bridge shuffle my cards. I know it's a controversial thing to do. I feel like I like the feeling of I think that playing cards with a little bit of wear, especially nicer cards like this and a little bit of bend, they feel really good. They still snap. This is a very nice card. It snaps really well. But if they get a little bit of use, they have a little softness to them, which is nice. So there you go. You put that stack on top. And then this is the deck. And you just go ahead and get your world deck divider as such and take that and stick it right in your box in the little slot. And the world deck is ready to go. Okay, what else do you need to do to clean up? That's kind of it. When you pack up the relics, one little thing about that is that the relics are going to get shuffled into this deck, and then whatever relics were owned by the winner of the game get shuffled and then go on top of the relic stack. It's that way when you're doing the setup function. You've got the Imperial Reliquary. The relics that the winner won with, or at least the random first 5, will go in the reliquary. Cool. All right. Cool. Well, I think that's it. Thank you all. Oh my gosh. Thank you all, 116 of you, for sticking around for the long haul here. I've never done a solo stream before. It's weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself, even though I know I'm talking to you. I hope that you all have a pleasant afternoon. I am so happy that this game is getting along to you. The production is done. We finished production on schedule, which is what I'll say right now. And shipping details will be coming soon, probably. I think we usually do updates on Tuesdays So probably next Tuesday. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll ask the ops team. What else do I have to say? Someone sent a link to the Woodland Warriors. You're welcome to join, of course, if you're not already a member. The TTS kit, I've just been told, will probably be getting its release update. There were a few features that we wanted to add to like the world strings, and a few other small like housekeeping stuff that we're going to be doing on the mod. That should be up hopefully soon. So we are basically we're trying to get that up before the game actually gets its physical release. Mango, good question. I hope that answers your question. TTS mod updates, like basically there are some bugs that need fixed, and there are a couple of small features like access to the dispossessed, and then there are some other features like more string details for some of the apps that Syria and some other folks I think maybe have been working on. That stuff should be coming along soon. Okay, that's it for me. I'm going to go write some emails. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming along, and take care.